0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Phixated Podcast. I am your host, itching to get out on the golf course, Mike Azzolina, joined by a guy who I know is also itching to get out on the golf course because he's been watching golf all week. Regzy Boo, it's Masters Week.
It's a beautiful time. It's a beautiful thing. I'm very jealous of the people that get to go and hang out at that beautiful golf course. Yeah, it's the best. You sometimes forget in between, and then it comes back, and you're just like, God, this is the best time. It's the best website experience. It's the best mobile app experience. It's just the best viewing experience that you get as a golf fan all year long. And it gets better. They just keep making it better every year. You wouldn't think that the stuffy old farts of Augusta National Golf Club would be in on the tech and making their broadcast technically sound, but they were some of the first people to do the live from the range and track every single player's shot that they take on the range and put it into videos and all this stuff. And it's just the greatest. I just go back most of the nights and just watch rounds. You can watch every shot from somebody's round. And they package it all up, and it's the best. It's the best.
It is really interesting that the course and the tournament that doesn't allow you to wear a backward hat.
Yeah.
as a pay and you have to call yourself a patron.
Yeah. And look,
no cell phones and all the things.
Doesn't really like black people. You could get into the worst things, but yeah.
Yep.
You wouldn't think they'd be up with the 2025 technology from that group.
No, but here we are.
They hired some smart people apparently and let them do their thing.
Here we are. I am excited. I'll be driving to Massachusetts tomorrow. I'm going to leave here probably around 9:30, which will put me in my hotel room at 2:30, which means I should be set for the entire last groups round.
Yeah.
I should be getting there. They might be teed off, maybe a hole or two in, but should be close if nothing else. And it'll be fun to watch that last group.
It's going to be a doozy, man.
Yeah, it is. We're either going to see the ultimate Rory moment or just more heartbreak.
Bryson's going to rip his heart out again.
It's I can't believe we're getting 2.0.
I know.
I cannot believe it. But I heard something yesterday and I sent it to you. I'm curious your thoughts on this. I have my own. I don't remember the woman's name and I couldn't even find the video when I searched back for it. But on social media, I saw a woman asking a bunch of the golfers and good ones, right? Like Dustin Johnson, good golfers. What an average golfer, how many strokes an average golfer would need on Sunday to win the Masters? How many strokes would they need to be given on Sunday at Augusta? They get to walk on the course on Sunday afternoon and they have the lead automatically. What the average golfer would need to hold on to that lead. I think the most generous I heard was 27 strokes.
Oh, that's not enough. That's not enough.
Definitely not enough. Definitely not enough.
Just think, even if, let's just say they're in the lead they give them a 2-shot lead, right? You'd think they'd need to shoot 3 or 4 under at the minimum.
Yeah.
To keep their lead and then eventually win the golf tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So 4 under is a 68.
Yeah.
Right? It's a par 72 golf course.
Mm-hmm.
The average golfer would take 120 to 130 shots at Augusta National. It depends maybe on your definition of average golfer.
I think, so all right, let's put it in this perspective. Regz, Banksy's a scratch golfer essentially,
Yes.
right? All right, so he shoots 72, let's say. So he's not average,
No.
right? Because the average, truly the average golfer, when you consider it, is they're 100. Like that's, to me, that's average, because most of the people that you and I play with, not named Banksy, aren't shooting in the 70s or 80s.
Yes.
Right? So let's say, just generously, the average golfer shoots low 90s. Generously.
Yeah. It'd be
Okay.
it's like 60 to 70 shots.
I mean, it's well, because I forget which golfer said it, but they were like, he goes, on 10 alone, they'd probably putt 12 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that might not be the hole. Is that the hole with like the hill?
I mean, they all have hills. Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
but there's the one that like if you miss it, it's going.
yeah. So there's a couple false fronts. 10 has a decent one.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he said 10.
Yeah. That one, I mean, you're down the hill, but like then you have to hit a downhill lie into a green that has a false front and like death everywhere else.
Yeah.
It's just,
I mean, that same golfer, and I wish I remembered who it was, said he was going hole by hole. He goes, well, 4, they're not even getting there. 6, they're not getting there. Lucky to get there on 9, 10, not getting there on 11. He was just like, they're not even gonna get to the green on some of these
he
holes.
just reeled it off. Yeah.
And that's, I mean, I can do that with like local courses, but like imagine just like that's what your life is. Augusta, you can just rattle off hole by hole.
Yeah.
You know what they're gonna get. When I heard 27, I lost it, because I guess that guy defines average golfer as like,
That's
in
what
the
I would
80s.
give Fairbanks. For as good as Chris Fairbanks is at golf.
27. Yeah, no, I think that's fair for him. I was gonna say the 20s for Banksy.
For as good as he is at golf, just think about that. He would need 20 plus strokes.
You know what? I'm gonna actually text him and ask him what he thinks he would need.
To sniff par.
Yeah, I just want to see what he thinks he would need.
Yeah. For as good as he is at golf.
I'm gonna text him right now, and we'll come back to his answer at the end of the show.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, just something in the 60s to 70s would be my answer.
I'm just curious. I just want to know what his would be. So I'll send him a message here in a moment. I just can't imagine. I can't imagine anything more or less than like 60 shots. And even then I'd be like, there's no way I'm winning. There's no prayer.
Yeah. No.
Even with 60 shots. But yeah, well, we'll see what tomorrow brings. We'll see what Banksy says. And in the meantime, we've got Sixers, Eagles, and Phillies talk. And here's the Sixers talk. 10.5% chance for Cooper Flagg.
Here we go.
And moving on. The Eagles. Eagles made an interesting little ditty move this week, man. They made a little ditty move. I liked it. One of those like interesting moves. They bring in Terrace Marshall, wide receiver who has spent a lot of time in a lot of different places, but was one of the better wide receivers in college football last time he played for a decent offense. I am curious, Regz, if this means like Jahan Dotson ends up on the block during the draft, because I don't see Terrace Marshall as like a nothing.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. The name didn't ring a bell. Like
Oh,
I
man,
was
he was
just
so
like,
good. Go watch after we're done. I know you're gonna watch Augusta highlights. Go watch LSU Terrace Marshall.
Okay.
Just go watch.
I can do that.
He was something else in college. He was something else.
All right.
He hasn't had a great NFL career, but when you look at the teams he's played for, you'd understand why.
All right. I'll go look.
It hasn't been ideal. Now, do I think that's a definite? No, I don't. I just, it made me wonder if perhaps it's something that the Eagles considered. He's only 24, Regz. Like he's not old by any stretch. Like there are guys in this draft coming out who are 24 years old.
Yeah.
Who are considered good prospects. So he's played for Carolina and the Raiders.
Tough.
Not ideal. not ideal. This will be
Yeah.
the best offense he's played in by a long shot. So, I mean, I'm curious. His best year was his second year. He had 28 catches for 500 yards. He only has one touchdown in his career. So, it's nothing to write home about. But he's a 24-year-old who, I believe was a pretty high pick. Yeah, it was a second round pick. He was a top 60 pick.
Mm.
So, it's not some nobody or no talent. He'll be 25 when the season starts. But someone to keep an eye on. I'm interested. Regz, last mock draft of the off season here, bud.
Here we go.
Now, here was my rule this time. I could make trades up, I could make trades down, I could make trades for veterans.
Mm-hmm.
However, players, I was only allowed one player who the Eagles did not have a top 30 visit with. Because the Eagles are very, very intentional about the guys they bring in for those visits. So I only allowed myself, that was the rule going in. I had to make sure that I took only guys outside of one that they did not have a top 30 visit with. So that's it. I could only have one. And I did. I ended up with only one. And this might be my favorite draft of the three that I've done, if I'm being very honest. All right. And we'll just kind of go through and I'll tell you like a little strength and weakness about every one of them. And if, I'll check to see if you want anything out of it and then we'll keep going. So I did make a first pick. I was considering trading up. I waited till pick 25 to see if either safety got there, but neither one did.
Gotcha.
I know the Eagles would never do it, but I wanted to. So there, Walter Nolan was not there at that spot. None of the higher offensive tackles that at least interest the Eagles were there. So I went with defensive tackle out of Ohio State, Tyleik Williams. Really tough to block one-on-one. Sort of reminds me of Jordan Davis in that way. He's really good at getting hands up on the line, so he's not going to get to the quarterback a ton, but he did this against Notre Dame a couple times in the national championship game. Gets his hands up and knocks passes down at the line. It was really annoying to watch. One word that's going to come up with a lot of these guys, inconsistent.
Yeah.
That's why he's dropping. It's just not enough consistency in the way that he plays. Again, kind of reminds me of Jordan Davis in that way. He's the fifth best tackle in the draft. So getting him at 32 would not be the end of the world. I know that they like him enough to bring him in for a visit. So when I saw that he was there, I jumped on it. Plus, I don't love many of the other tackles. And I think I really wanted an edge here because I think that's where they need the most help. But the edge rushers just weren't jumping out at me. Anything there?
No.
All right. I traded the second round pick.
Okay.
I moved out of it. I moved out of the second round. Again, Miami came up. Miami wanted it. So second round 260 or 64th pick, one of our fifth round picks, the last one, to Miami for the 98th overall pick in the third round, the 114th pick in the fourth round, and a future third round. So add to that stockpile in 2026. Tried to move up in the third round. The tight end from Bowling Green was floating around, and I tried to move up, couldn't get up. Considered making a trade for a already established tight end at this point, but held off. Glad I did. Terrence Ferguson, the tight end at Oregon, was there. Took him there. He's a player the Eagles brought in. As a matter of fact, he's one of two tight ends they brought in. So I really like his flexibility. He can play a little bit of fullback, can play in the slot. You can split him out. He can play, as the tight end on the line. Huge seam threat. However, that dreaded word inconsistent comes up in terms of high pointing balls and getting open. So when he gets the ball, the boy can move. He's a lankier tight end. It's just the inconsistency. But I know they like him. Again, they brought him in. So wouldn't have done that if they didn't. I still considered going and getting a veteran tight end. We'll talk about that later. At 98, so 2 picks later, I went and got Charles Grant, the offensive tackle from William and Mary, who they've brought in for a visit. Really good run blocker, lot of power. He's just a little lean. That's sort of the thing, and he didn't play high level competition at the college level. I think he's the type of guy Stout's going to like because of how good he is in the run blocking game and how powerful he is. And maybe they see him as a guard in the future. He could find himself there if they really like him as a road grader. He's the size that they like at guard. So, yeah, I was pretty psyched about this one. He's a top 10 tackle in this draft. I was pretty stoked that he was there. I was happy to get 3 guys in the first 3 picks that they met with.
Yeah.
So
right.
felt good about it. Jumping to the 4th round at 114. This is the other pick from Miami. Got the edge rusher from Miami, Tyler Barron. Really good size, great run instincts. He's a little older. He's 24, but Vic loves an edge that has good rush instincts and knows how to set an edge.
Yeah.
And this kid does. He's going to be a role player. I think at the edge position, that's what they need. And they don't need someone who's going to come in and be a superstar right now. They have enough on the line. They have their superstars on the line. I think having a guy who can set an edge early downs is important, and he seems like that kind of guy. He's 24. In the pass rush, if the first move doesn't work, he's lost. We saw with Nolan Smith this year that wasn't the case anymore. Part of me hopes that's coachable and that Clint Hurt can change that. But I think the biggest thing with him, negative-wise, is that he's 24 already.
Yeah.
But I like him. I think it'd be a good move for them.
Yeah, I'm with you that I think to play in Vic's defense, you have to be able to stop the run. He's not going to send a bunch of people, but your job as a defensive line is to eat up blocks so that the linebackers can fly forward and do what they do. And we saw it with Bryce Huff. It's the perfect example. He won't put you out there if you're not willing to eat up some blocks and keep those lanes open for the linebackers to fly up and stop the run. Like you just won't play. It doesn't matter how much you're paid, if they traded for you, whatever, you're just not going to be out there. So it's a good base at least to start there. And, hopefully maybe you can teach up the other things, but certainly a good start.
Yeah. And again, I as much as I think they need edge, I think they need edge depth. I don't know that they need edge stars because Nolan Smith, not a star. Well, he's turning into one, but no one saw him as that. So,
Right.
if you can turn this guy into a role player, the way they rotate guys,
yeah,
it's probably fine.
They do need depth. They need guys who can come in, do their job. There's enough other playmakers on this team that, should be able to make the plays, but you have to come in and be able to do a job. You have to come in and not, overextend or try to do something you're not supposed to, or, not remember what you're supposed to. You got to be able to come in and do what you're supposed to do.
Yep.
Like, that's it, man.
The other place they needed depth is safety. We know that. I'm still convinced that they're going to end up with a certain veteran.
Didn't he talk about it on a podcast recently?
He absolutely did. Absolutely did. If he's not an Eagle, it'll be the most shocking thing of all time.
Yeah.
But I did go get a safety. This is the only guy on the list that hasn't visited the Eagles. And I think it's because of the relationship that they have with the university, just because it's local. Jalen Reed, safety from Penn State. I took him in last week's mock. I really love this kid, man. He's so versatile, super high IQ, was a captain, 2-year captain at Penn State. But the big word is inconsistent, just inconsistent. And so I don't know, in the injury, the ACL, but he's a project, I think. And while they do need someone immediately, I think if Simmons comes here, they're fine. for a year.
Yeah.
Like, I think they're gonna be fine
Well,
because
and
because
who
he
better
can
to
step right
learn
in and
from
play. Yes, than a
than
guy who's
that
played
guy?
in Vic
Right.
Fangio's defense and has
Right.
been successful. I think, it'll be the perfect sort of scenario for both he and Sidney Brown if Justin Simmons ends up here.
Yeah.
But this was I really wanted to get a safety. I couldn't find one. I tried to move up in the first round. I tried to move up in the second round, and I could not land the trade. And so when Jalen Reed was sitting there at 134, I was like,
Where did the Georgia safety go in this one?
17 or
Wow.
18.
Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah,
not
and
even close.
no, and the other kid, that was the one I was trying to get up at 25.
Who's
but he
the
went
other
at
good
20.
safety?
It begins with an E, and I'm forgetting his name.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, look it up. Look up top 2 safeties. It'll pop. I'm just forgetting. But he went at 24. At 161 in the 5th round. This was are the only 5th round pick that I kept. This is the only one that I kept. Took Jalen Travis, the offensive tackle out of Iowa State. Super good giddy up. And here's the thing I love about him. If you're looking for a lane replacement, he really times the snap well. Something Lane has like become, that's part of why he's gonna be a Hall of Famer. Now, I'm not saying this kid's gonna be a Hall of Famer, but I think if you're looking for a project that has some similarities size-wise, run blocker, really good at timing the snap. He's not as strong as Lane. He's got below average power, but I do believe one thing that you can work on at the NFL level, like power, right? Like these guys that you get to the NFL, things are a little different than they are at Iowa State. So you can create that a little bit. That's something that you can mold. So I felt good about that. Did you find the kid?
Nick Emanwari,
That's Nick Emanwari.
South Carolina.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually think he goes before Starks. I think a lot of people like him more than Starks.
Yeah.
Not on my board, but
Yeah, Fran has him second to Starks.
yeah, well, Fran loves Starks.
Yeah. Yeah.
If Starks gets to the Eagles, that's the guy he says he wants more than anybody else. Like if Starks is there and Walter Nolan's there and the one offensive tackle that he really likes is there, I think it's Earl is his name.
Yeah.
He still wants Starks. So
what he's got another Penn State guy ranked 5th. Winston?
Oh, the other safety.
Yeah, the other safety.
Yeah, that actually might be the one who was hurt. That's the one who was hurt. It's not Reed.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Winston was hurt. Winston's really good. Reed's still a fine player.
Yeah.
But Reed's Winston's the one that was hurt. 6th round, 180. This is the last pick we make, but I did something else. Jaden Blue, running back from Texas. I love this pick. Now he's not his comp is like Justice Hill, who's fine. Ball security is an issue, but here's why I love him. Explosive one-cut zone runner. What do the Eagles run? Zone. Who better to learn from in terms of one cut and go than Saquon Barkley? I don't know that they're going to spend a pick on running back. I think they should, just to be safe, unless they really love some of those like Davis Price, and who's the other guy that Bo loves? I can't remember, but Bo loves Lou Nichols.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. If they love those guys, fine. But I wouldn't mind seeing a pick on a running back. It's such a deep class that I think it would be a good time to take a shot. All right. So here's the surprise of the draft. I had decided that if I couldn't get a tight end, I was going to trade for a tight end in the league already. If I couldn't get a corner, I was going to trade for a corner in the league already. Now, if you go back through this draft, I did not get a corner. I think the Eagles are still very thin at corner. I love what they have with Q. I love what they have with Coop. They're basically saying that it comes down to, oh my gosh, what is wrong with me with names tonight, Regz? Why do I have like no names in my head? I'm really struggling.
Who are we looking for?
I'm corners on the Eagles.
Which one? Keeley?
Well, Ringo, thank you. Gosh, I am having the night of my life. So it's that really what they're saying is it's down to Keeley and Adoree.
Yeah.
So I don't love that as the depth.
Yeah.
Like I would prefer having another guy come in. And I know that they really want it to be Keeley. And I know that they want the bar that he has to clear to be Adoree. But hear me out. There's a corner in the league who the team feels as though he's tradable. His contract's a little large, so they'd have to work that out. He's got 2 years left. He's 28 years old. A lot of injuries the last 2 years, but when he's healthy, he's one of the best zone corners in football. So I sent a 5th round pick and a 7th rounder that I acquired later in the draft when I moved back to get Jaden Blue to the Green Bay Packers for Jair Alexander. Now, again, I understand the injury history. Totally get it. But when that dude is healthy, he is.
Yeah, still really good.
Unbelievable. His value at this point is not that high. It's sort of like that DeAndre Swift trade that the Eagles made. I do see them making a trade like that. I think the other possibility is if they don't get the tight end they want, Michael Mayer from the Raiders would be the guy I think that they would draft a trade for. Regz, I got to be honest with you, man. I think they're going to add in the draft at corner, or if they don't find one they like, this is a move that they could potentially make. He makes a ton of sense. It's something that gives them he gives them 2 more years, and if they restructure it, maybe 3. His health is in question, but at least we're not leaning on Keeley Ringo as like the day one starter because I'm not there. And maybe it's because I don't see him every day.
Right.
But I am just not there. I'm not. And
yeah.
Go ahead.
I just mean he gets, depending on who you ask, you get very different answers. Like, I know there's some beat guys who love him and think he's got all the skill sets and the body type to be that guy. And then there's others that are like us that are kind of like, well, I'm just not sure.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure. Because, yeah, he's got the body type and quote unquote, all the skills.
Mm-hmm.
But he hasn't, like, he didn't be so good that he earned some playing time. Like, Rodgers came in and played over top of him, a guy who had not played in the league the year before. So we just don't know. It's like you said, we just don't know if he's really got it. And we understand that he might be what we have to use, in this kind of bridge time until they can use some more resources on it. But he didn't win the backup job to Slay like Rodgers did. And it's like, well, dude, if you got all these skills and you got this body type and everyone's so high on you, like, you should have won it by now. And everyone's like, oh, well, he's younger than even guys who are in the draft right now. And he was drafted 2 years ago. And like, okay, no one's saying that maybe he can't continue to develop, but he hasn't shown to be a starting caliber cornerback yet.
Right.
And that's just like, that's where we're at. That's what we know of him right now.
Yeah, and look, there are guys in this draft that could come in and compete with him. There are a few guys I like. I just couldn't land any of them. I talked about some of them in last week's. There's a couple corners that I took.
Yeah.
If you can't get a guy who can come in and compete with him, why not use some of these resources on a guy that can come in and play on day one?
Oh, yeah.
And if he gets hurt, then you go to ring.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I want the bar that we have to clear to be Adoree Jackson right now. I think Adoree can still play a little bit, but I don't know that I want that to be the bar necessarily.
Yeah, sure.
So that is probably my favorite of all the mocks. So to recap, here's positionally defensive tackle. I'm going to start on defense. Defensive tackle, Tyleik Williams. Edge rusher, Tyler Barron. Safety, Jalen Reed. And that's it. And Jair Alexander. So we got 4 new players in this draft. It was a little tough because like I couldn't trade Dallas Goedert and get something, but I do believe that he's probably gonna be a draft day trade. And then offensively, tight end Terrence Ferguson, 2 offensive tackles, Charles Grant from William and Mary, and Jalen Travis from Iowa State, and then running back Jaden. So got all the positions of need. Depth at running back, 2 more offensive linemen that I believe can give something to this team. Tight end, which needs depth. Defensive tackle that needs probably 1 more guy. Edge that needs depth. Safety that needs another player in the room. And corner, which I believe needs higher level competition. So this is my favorite one. I like all the names. All of them visited except for Jalen Reed. Every single one of them visited. So I was able to stay true to my thing. So next week.
I just think it's going to be a theme as we get closer and closer to the draft and people start to pay attention more and more about the names that are coming up, either when you talk about it or experts talk about it, right? Or the PHOY guys talk about it or whoever. I even listened to Philly Special, and they had a 2-episode thing about some guys, that might get to where the Eagles are, offense and defense. Like, look, the Eagles have made some tremendous splashes in the last 2 drafts, like that have worked out unbelievably well for them. You know why they won a Super Bowl? Because they did that. Because those drafts were so good. Because those guys worked out so well. They won a Super Bowl where their defense was the worst in the league 2 years ago and turned into the best defense in the league a year later. It was because, and everyone knows this is not, new information, but this is going to be a very different draft.
Yes.
This is going to be a very different draft to those things.
Very good point.
This draft and potentially the next one, if they continue to be successful, like, are depth drafts. Can we get these guys to be greater than their potential? Can we turn these guys into like backup caliber players, which is an important thing to have on a football team that has such top end talent? You have, like, they can't play all the time. Some people get hurt. You have to have capable backups in the National Football League. And that's what this team is going to be looking to do with this draft, is to get guys who are capable backups. They have the talent at the top. They do. They need to fill in the rest, and it's just not going to look the same as the past 2 drafts. Guys, they crushed it. They absolutely crushed it the last 2 drafts. Like, they did as well as you can possibly do with their top end picks. And look what it turned into. A Super Bowl that everyone was dying for. We're going to have to be okay with what this draft is and, like, the names that are going to come out of it. You just have to be okay with it now. You just have to accept the fact that this is what it's going to be. Your team just won the Super Bowl, and we'll move forward.
Regz, I think that is an incredibly valid point. This, by all accounts, I've said it on here. We've heard it from multiple draft experts. This draft sucks. Free agency sucked. This was a bad off season. It's just not deep classes anywhere. So it wouldn't surprise me if Howie doesn't take 7 guys in this class and uses resources to go get depth from existing teams. It wouldn't surprise me if the Eagles only find 1 or 2 serviceable players in this draft. It's just not a good draft. So if the Eagles can turn these 7 picks that they have a first, second, third, fourth, and 4 fifths. if they can find a way to make 5 or 6 picks here, and 3 or 4 of those guys become consistent contributing players, to win.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially when you're picking at the bottom of a bad draft.
Yeah.
I like truly in most drafts, the top 150 guys are always intriguing. I've stopped giving a shit after 75 in this one. And it's really even hard to get to 70. That doesn't mean there aren't going to be like surprises and guys who come out of nowhere. Like that happens every year. We know that. But I've really had a hard time getting motivated to like dig into this draft.
Yeah. Yeah.
It has been a real challenge for me to sit down and dig in. And I get a lot of people who text me and like, what do you think of this guy? What do you think of that guy? I'm like, really haven't looked, to be honest with you. It's just been really hard this year. Hard. And some of that is because of the Super Bowl. But we'll see. Next Thursday it begins.
That's right.
I still believe that we could be sitting there at like 1 o'clock in the morning and the Eagles don't take anybody.
Yeah.
Very possible. So all right, let's move on to the baseball team who sits as we record at 9-5, tied atop the NL East with the New York Mets, who lost to the A's today. They are no longer the Oakland A's, they're just the Athletics. And look, it hasn't been the prettiest 9-5. I'll say that. What I would like to add is that it's their best start to a season since 2011, a year they set a franchise record for wins. And they've gotten off to this start despite only 2 guys in the lineup hitting consistent.
Yeah.
Kyle Schwarber and Nick Castellanos are the only 2 guys hitting right now.
Yeah.
At least consistently.
Yeah.
Like they've gotten moments from a few guys. But when you truly look at it, and Nick just is coming off a 5 strikeout night.
I know.
So they're not even like clicking yet offensively. And I will tell you right now, if you're one of those people on social media who is losing their mind that this is who they are, you clearly haven't watched baseball enough. It's just not true. There's no way it stays this way all year. There's just none. It's not how the game works. So, a little game tonight. We are going to do a blind ranking of concern. So I have 10 players listed here, 10 who I think are reasonable to talk about when it comes to being concerned through 8% of the season. They've given off at least enough red flags for us to throw them on here. Now, there are a couple of honorable mentions that we'll talk about at the end. But I've already ranked mine. So I'm going to ask Regz as I go. I'm going to randomly name a player, and he's going to give a number. And 1 being, Azzy, I'm not. Why is he even on the list? 10 being, I don't know if this guy is going to make it through the month, let alone the season. Okay, so we're going to go that way. Before we do, I'd like to just bring something up. I know Atlanta is going to come up at some point during our conversation because they went there and dropped 2 of 3. And it was a very odd 2 of 3. But during that time, Regz and I were talking.
Yeah.
And Regz, what was like my initial response when we talked about Atlanta, the general team, the just being in Atlanta? What do you remember what my response was?
Yeah, they go down there and forget how to play baseball.
So I went and I checked myself on this.
Okay.
All right. I went back to 2021 and I looked at every series that they played in Atlanta regular season. Because in the postseason in 22 and 23, they split the series in Atlanta. They didn't have to go back.
Yeah.
And as you're about to find out, that's a good thing. In 2021, in April, they lost 2 of 3 in Atlanta. In May, they lost 2 of 3 in Atlanta. In September, they got swept in Atlanta for an astounding record in 2021 of 2-7 in Atlanta. In 2022, they went 2-2 in May. They went 1-1 in August, a weird 2-game series.
Yeah.
And then 0-3 swept in September. for an astounding 3-6 in Atlanta. In 2023, they split a series in May, and they actually won a series in September. So they were 4-3. In 2024, they were 1-2 in July. They lost 2 of 3, and then lost 2 of 3 in August for a astounding record of 2-4. So in series record, since the year 2021, the Phillies are 1-6-3 in Atlanta during the regular season. They just don't play well in Atlanta. It will never. It will. And look. They could have swept that series.
Yes.
Like, I can think back to series where they lost 2 or 3 and that they did not. It wasn't good at all.
Mm-hmm.
But they could have swept that series. We'll talk about all of that as we go, because some of these guys will bring up that conversation. But I felt the need to point that out and do that research. Because I had said it to you and I was like, I wonder if I'm right about that. And it turns out I was very right about that.
Yeah, you were very right.
1-6-3 since in series since 2021. And again, in 22, they split the series in the postseason, and 23, they split the series. So if we include that, 1-6-5 in Atlanta over the last 4 seasons. So, and so far this year, let's add that in, 1-7-5 in Atlanta since 2021.
Crazy.
1-7-5. They cannot win there. I didn't look at home. I think they're better at home. As a matter of fact, I know I can think of like 3 sweeps they've had of Atlanta. But when they go to freaking Truist, they cannot win. All right. 10 players. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Let's start with one that I think is a very fair one. It'll, probably find a nice middle ground here unless you feel differently than I do. Let's go Bryson Stott.
Oh, God. This is
Now, there's no way I was making this without putting all 3 daycare members on there. So there's your clue.
This is where I have to figure out who else might be on the list to see where I want to put him.
That's why I love this.
Oh. Oh my God. This was one is more concerned or least concerned?
One is you are least concerned.
One is least concerned. Okay.
Yep. Like, think of it that least, the less number. 10 is like you're flashing red. It's you have no other. It is bad.
6.
Bryson Stott at number 6.
I really wanted to say 7.
I will reveal mine at the end, just so.
I don't think he's looked good. I think his swing looks loopy.
Yeah.
He's not getting to fastballs again. He's like nothing is hit hard. Even like he's staring at balls right down the middle. Like, just make a decision. Like, just do something to hit the ball hard.
They look like they're making the choice right now to hit him lead off so that there's protection for Bryce.
Yeah.
And they're going to need him to be good there. Now, today he got a big hit. Knocked in Brandon Marsh late in the game to make it a 3-0 game. Middle of the game to make it a 3-0 game. And they're going to need that, but they're also going to need him getting on base to put some pressure on teams early in the game.
Yeah.
Because if he gets on base, he's got a chance to take second. And then you've got in the back of your head as a pitcher, I got to get outs now. I've got Trey in order. I've got Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, and a red hot Nick Castellanos. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
But if you get the first guy out, you're not as scared.
He just has to get on base. He has to.
And against righties, his on base percentage is over 400.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what happens against lefties. I'm wondering if they put Trey at leadoff and hit like Nick second.
Yeah.
If Bohm could get it together,
right,
they could move Bohm up there and keep Kyle in the 4 hole. But we wait and see on that. All right, ready for the next guy?
Yes.
Let's put his partner up next. Trey Turner.
It's only
no.
because there are more guys I'm concerned about. And I have to put him here. It's 5. I'm concerned about Trey. I think his swing looks long. I think he's missing every fastball that he sees. He's only hitting hanging breaking balls. He's still chasing sliders out of the zone. He does not appear to be shortening up just to get the ball in play. It's just like it looks like he's in home run or nothing mode, and I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, shorten up. Just put the damn thing into right field if you have to. And stop swinging through these hittable fastballs. Like, it's just I don't know. I don't like what I'm seeing so far.
So I'm gonna say this. I've seen more right field from Trey this year than I feel like we had other seasons. My main concern with Trey right now, and well, I shouldn't say it that way. I feel like Trey is kind of like getting under the radar a little bit because there are other guys that are struggling so much more.
I agree.
You know, Trey had the big hit in Atlanta in the only win of that series. And other than that, it's been here and there, sometimes, not all the time.
He had an RBI hit today, but like that was the only ball he hit hard all day. Like it's just
we'll take it in that spot.
No, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. The list is going to be interesting because so far, I'm not going to tell you where we're at. Okay, next guy. This will be a fun one. Taijuan Walker. No runs in 2 starts.
4. I'm just not. I think it's based on expectations. Like, if my expectations were so low that if this is what I got in 2 starts, then I'm not too worried right now. Okay. Because he's just a bridge to get Ranger back. Like, he's a means to an end right now, and he's doing great.
That's fair. All right. Let's do Ryan Kerkering.
Yeah, I got 3 left. I'm just going to say 3. I'm not worried about him. I know, like, the fastball command's been a little iffy. He's not getting, like, he hasn't had a bunch of those super quick innings like we were seeing at the end of last year where everything was just like, oh, he's in and now he's gone. Like, it was just, it's like he came in a flash. The fastball, I'm hoping, is just one of those early season things. He'll find it. Maybe he's just getting the feel for it. I'm not going to be overly concerned right now.
It's going to get interesting.
Yeah, it is. I put that was really high for him.
I'm going to do this. Let's do this. Bryce Harper.
I mean, just 2 because he's Bryce Harper. I'm just not going to be worried about him. He has these little moments where he can't hit fastballs right down the middle. It doesn't make any sense. But we've been here, done that with Bryce Harper. I think he's got the benefit of the doubt.
Okay. Christopher Sanchez.
Yeah, 1. I'm not worried about Chris Sanchez. It's been a little like he's not, striking out everybody, but look, if he's going to pitch to ground balls with the stuff he has, fine. And that's what he has to do to get through it. I think the best thing about today was he did not look good to start. Like, the velocity was really down, but it came back. Yeah. And I think he even admitted like something didn't feel quite right, but he found it and felt fine.
All right.
I have 8, 9, 10 left, right?
7, 8, 9, 10.
7, 8, 9, 10. Got it.
Alec Bohm.
9. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with Alec Bohm as a hitter. I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Jordan Romano.
I'll say 7 just because, yes, he's had to pass 2 good outings. You hope that continues, but like we're not going to always be able to get him the rest, like 3 days rest all the time.
Yeah.
Like he's going to have to be able to perform on 1 or 2 days and be in high leverage spots. And we don't really know if he's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Like, look, I hope this mechanical thing that they figured out was what he needed to find. And it's going to make him pitch to his potential. But I still think there's a fair amount of concern. Like this guy's being called upon to, like, I know Kerkering we see as the replacement for Jeff Hoffman, but we need just Kerkering to do what he did last year. And he'll be fine. Like, Romano's the one coming into this that we have nothing to go off of.
Yeah.
Coming off an injury year in a new place and in high leverage spots. Like, he's got nowhere to hide with this bullpen. And he's going to have to show that he can do it consistently, like, and not always with the amount of rest that he probably would love.
Yeah. All right. You ready to hate me?
Yeah.
Zach Wheeler.
Damn it. Shit.
Put him in here at 8.
This is just the one that
Here's what I'm going to do.
This is due to the list.
It's so hard to do. I am going to allow you to switch 2 guys. You can flip-flop any 2 guys when you're done with your whole list. So I will tell you the last guy's Brandon Marsh. So you save number 10 for, I feel like, a perfect guy.
I'm fine with that.
So obviously I think the guy that you're going to want to switch is Wheeler.
Yeah.
Now here's who you have up top. So you can only flip-flop. You can't move multiple guys.
Yeah.
So you have Sanchez at 1, Harper at 2, Kerkering at 3, Walker at 4, Turner at 5. My feel is you're going to want to go somewhere in there.
Yeah. Flip Walker and Wheeler.
Okay.
Because if we just have to go by track record, there's a good chance Walker could blow up the next time he pitches. And Wheeler, this is a blip. He has a few of them every year. And I'm just not that worried.
We're probably getting Taijuan Walker again at some point.
Yes.
Start.
Yes.
You're going to need him again. So what you're seeing now might not always. What we've seen has been great.
Absolutely.
It's just the idea of, like, you talked about, like, Jordan Romano and that's how I feel about Walker.
Yeah.
Like, it's a ticking time bomb type of thing. I don't necessarily trust the guy completely.
Yeah.
I'm happy for him. I don't trust him. And I think that both can be true. So, all right, let's compare now. Your number 1 was Chris Sanchez. I had Sanchez at 3.
Fair.
I agree with what you said. I think it was great to see Sanchez get into the 7th in a road game today.
Mm-hmm.
And to roll double play. He was pitching to contact a lot more today, which I think was great. The swing and miss stuff wasn't necessarily there early. Felt like the changeup, he wasn't finding it. The fastball, the velocity wasn't there. But once he got there, they were having a lot of trouble squaring.
And I think as you just said it, I think this is maybe his next step, right? He had that great season last year. A lot of it was on, like, nobody was making great contact, but I feel like it was a lot of strikeouts.
Yeah.
And look, sometimes you're just not going to have a put away pitch, but if you're keeping your stuff down and getting ground balls, like, dude, that's how you become a really consistent pitcher. If you just maybe don't have the strikeout stuff that day, but you can locate and keep, and he was jamming righties really well. They were getting some bloop hits. St. Louis is a big park with a lot of outfield. They were, like, jam shotting a few. I don't remember maybe more than 1 or 2 that got hit hard.
Yeah.
Like, truly hard. And, like, that's what you can do, man. That's your next evolution as a pitcher is, I don't have the strikeout stuff today, but I am going to just create weak contact and get ground balls, keep everything in the bottom of the zone. If they get maybe 1, whatever, right? 1 run in 6 1/3, cool, man. That's a great outing. When you don't have your best stuff or your best put out stuff, I think that's exactly, like, the next step for Chris Sanchez, and I'm for it, man. Great.
To me, you're killing it tonight. When I can't find words, you're out there just, like, spitting truths. the true aces, Cy Young candidates, can go out there with their B minus C level stuff and still give you 6 really good
Yeah.
innings. And Chris Sanchez did that today against who I surprised you last night when I told you that St. Louis has the 3rd most runs of any
Oh my
team
God,
in
I couldn't
baseball.
believe it.
And Aaron Nola didn't make this list. I feel like I could have put him on here. I wanted to
Yeah.
have a little bit of fun with the
Yeah.
list, so I didn't put
Yeah.
Nola on here. I think he would have ended
He
up
would have
in the
ended up
bottom
towards the bottom. Yep.
5. But again, honestly, that might be unfair
It was a good outing
because
this time.
he had a good outing last night, and he had a fine outing against the Dodgers. He's 2 home runs. That was
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
He actually had a better outing against the Dodgers than Zach Wheeler did against the Braves.
Yeah.
And people are already saying, "Oh, Aaron Nola, best starter on the team." He's had 2 really good starts. His
Yeah.
last 2 starts. I know what the Nationals start was. I watched it. Aaron Nola will not have his velocity until like June.
Yeah.
Until then, we're gonna get this Aaron Nola, and they could have won that game last night.
Yeah.
They didn't win that game because they got to the hotel at 5 in the morning, and
Yeah.
their at bats were like, "Get me back
Yeah.
to the hotel."
They
at
didn't.
bats.
They didn't take batting practice. Yeah.
No. Okay, so we had Sanchi pretty close. We both had Harp at 2. This is Bryce. Like, this is Bryce.
Yeah.
He's gonna hit a stride this year where it feels like he's always on base or always hitting a monster home run. He's 2 for me. There's no conversation.
Yeah.
All right, this is where it gets interesting. You had Orion Kirkering at 3. I had Orion Kirkering at 7.
Okay.
So I hear you.
For the record, I don't think it's outrageous. For the record.
No, I don't think 3's outrageous. Again, I think both of our points are going to be fair. Your point of like, he hasn't had a lot of quick innings, so there's a little bit of pause there, but he's still a guy that you feel like you've seen him do it, so he can.
Mm-hmm.
Here's where my concern comes in and why I put him at 7 and why I'm just not as confident right now. Because we talked all off season about this is the dude who's got to take the Jeff Hoffman. And there have been 2 straight games now that he's come in and roll the fireman role that Jeff Hoffman used to come into. And Jeff Hoffman used to get a big strikeout.
Yeah.
With less than 2 outs and a runner on third, Jeff Hoffman came in and got the strikeout. 2 consecutive outings now. Orion Kirkering came in and gave up fly balls that allowed runs. That can't happen.
Yeah.
If he's going to be the Jeff Hoffman replacement, and look, some of that's on Dave Dombrowski. Like he's thought, and to be fair, I think we all kind of agreed that Orion was ready to take the next step. And it's early. We're 8% of the games in.
Right.
So he very well could. But at the moment, I'm very worried that we don't have that fire extinguisher out there. He was supposed to be, and he hasn't done it yet.
I mean, I think both things can be true. I think Orion is getting there. I also don't think we have that guy out there. Like we don't have a Jeff Hoffman. We have guys we hope can perform the way he's performed. We don't have Jeff Hoffman. Like he doesn't exist out there. And look, can we hope that someone builds into that?
Yeah.
Yes, we can. And I think we have some guys that we're hopeful will get there. But as this team exists, we don't have that guy. He doesn't exist out there. And it's scary because he's a guy we've relied on a lot the past 2 years to get out of some situations. And
I do want to point out that 2 years ago, Jeff Hoffman didn't exist on the roster at this point either.
That's a fair point.
He wasn't, he was a day away from getting cut.
Yeah.
So, these guys turn up and he might be on the roster right now. He might be coming up in June.
Yep.
So I don't want to have to tread water. And the other part of this, Regs, and we're going to talk about it as we keep moving down the list here. But if these guys would just break the game open, we wouldn't need these high level.
You're exactly right.
It's insane, that we can't break some of these open. All right, number 4, you traded up for Wheeler. I had Wheeler at number 1.
Yeah.
I mean, I was not happy with Zach on Tuesday. I was not happy with Zach on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I'll be very honest.
He wasn't happy. He wasn't happy with himself.
No, and that's why I love him. I absolutely love the guy. He knows. And I appreciated him saying it doesn't matter that he didn't catch that ball. It's my job to get the outs. And he's right. He's getting paid $43 million.
Yeah.
He had 2 outs and he walked the worst hitter on the planet. That dude does nothing if he's not playing the Phillies.
Yeah.
Nothing. And truly, he didn't do anything the rest of the series. Taijuan Walker got him out 3 times. like Zach, all you had to do is get him out.
Yep.
And you couldn't get him out.
Yep.
I cannot stand that little
I know.
punk.
I know.
Oh my gosh. None of them. I don't like any of them.
I don't like any
All
of
right,
them.
so
Yeah.
Wheeler starts tomorrow. I really hope we see a bounce back from Zach tomorrow.
I expect one, quite honestly.
I hope so. You had Trey Turner at 5. I had Trey at 4.
Okay.
So we were really close there. Here's my thing with Trey.
I'd love to hear your opinion on Trey, honestly.
So let me start with this before I do the obvious conversation. I don't think it's talked about enough how good he's been defensively so far. Like a vast improvement defensively from Trey so far. Like plays that Trey's making are not plays we've seen Trey make.
Yeah.
In the past. Even today on the ball that glanced off of Romano's glove.
Yeah.
He bare hands and almost throws out Contreras. What a freakish play. Made 2 really nice plays down the line last night.
Mm-hmm.
Including one where he had to go down to his knees, get up, and throw. And Newt Bar almost went. And that's a dude who I thought was going to go there. So I do want to give credence to the D. You can tell he's put in a lot of work. The double play late in the game today with Romano was a tremendous play too.
Yeah, that ball was smoked by Arenado.
Yeah, that was a great play by Trey. Offensively, yes to your he hit the ball to right field more. I feel like I've seen it more than other years, not enough, but more than other years. I already kind of gave the main part of my point, which is I feel like he's skating by because of other guys right now. But I also know what Trey is, and we're gonna get a month where Trey is just on base constantly.
Yeah.
It's what Brian said. It's what Brian said on the preseason show. We'll get Trey hitting 390 for like a month, and then he'll hit 200 for a month.
Yeah.
Right now he's floating around 250.
Yeah. The right field stuff more like I think comes with I just think I'd love to see him shorten up. And he just seems to be taking the same swing at every pitch, no matter the count. And I just you're so fast and so good at putting the bat on the ball. Just shorten up a little bit and just look to contact, right? And just not like, I don't know, man. That's it. That's what I want. And I hope that would lead to the right field stuff. It just seems like every swing is this long trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark swing. Yeah. And I just would love for him to just shorten up a little bit.
I think the other thing with Trey that has frustrated me a little bit so far is he has some at-bats where we're seeing the difference between last year and this year. Where he doesn't chase. Or he'll go deep into a count.
Yeah.
And lay off tough pitches, but then 3-2 he chases the pitch.
Right. Yeah.
And that's bothering me a little bit because we're seeing the difference.
Yeah.
But then he falls into the trap.
Or there's an at bat in a big spot and it's like 1, 2, 3 and he's just gone.
Yeah.
Like swinging it and like gets 2 fastballs blown by him and then swings at the down and out slider. And you're just like, oh my God. Like just
Yeah. So I think the middle of the pack of this group is very fair.
Yeah.
If we had, so say like I took Bryce and Wheeler off here, put like Nola and JT, he would slide up to like third.
Yes. You'd be more concerned about them than Trey. Yes.
For sure. So I think again, like he's kind of skating by because of what other guys are doing right now.
Yeah.
I actually would consider Nola ahead of him in terms of like least concern. Just because I feel like Nola's done the job twice now,
Yeah.
and is what it is. Okay. We both had stot 6. So yeah, I think for me right now it's just consistency with Bryson.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we see him swing with conviction and other times we don't.
Yeah.
I think if he just makes his mind up that he's gonna swing with conviction, he's gonna be a very difficult out. And there's still times where he just looks indecisive in the box.
Yes.
Like the indecisiveness is very confusing from a guy 2 years ago who just the confidence was through the roof.
Yep.
And now it's like the swings are kind of halfway.
Yep.
Like he can't make up his mind, and sometimes you can't even tell if he fouls off a pitch,
right?
Because of how late he is.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great point. It's a great point.
It's a very confusing Bryson Stott, and they need him to have more decisiveness and conviction in the box because when he does, he's a very tough out, and they're going to need that if he's hitting leadoff.
And again, I think it would be, look, man, if you're going to get struck out on the 8th or 9th pitch of an at bat, whatever, it happens.
Yeah,
but that's not what's happening.
Yeah,
he takes strike 1 right down the middle. So how he used to be like, oh, I want to jump on those early count fastballs. He's not doing that. Then he sits there and takes another strike. And then it's just these poofy swings, not trying to like drive the ball whatsoever. It's just these loopy, like, God, I really hope I got a piece of this one. It's just like, come on, man, just get up there and like, you can do this. Like we know you can. Just like you said, get up there with some conviction and like an idea of what you want to do.
Yep. All right, so here are the 4 players left. I'm going to go in your order. Romano, Walker, Bohm, Marsh. Those are my 4 players left. Okay? Romano, Walker, Bohm, Marsh. Here are the numbers I have left. 5, 8, 9, and 10. Do you have a guess on where I put those guys? So again, I have 5, 8, 9, and 10.
5, 8, 9,
where
10.
do you believe I put Jordan Romano?
8.
You're correct. Where do you think I put Taijuan Walker?
5.
You're incorrect.
Oh. You put Bohm 5, didn't you?
I did. Yes. Which leaves Walker at 9 and Marshy at 10. So let me start with Walker less of the evils. Look, I like I said earlier, Taijuan, both things can be true. I'm really happy for the guy. I don't completely trust the guy yet. 9 and 2/3 of shutout baseball is fantastic. This Braves lineup is really scuffling, and the Rockies stink.
Yeah.
So
the Braves lineup scuffles against everyone else except us, apparently.
And Taijuan Walker.
Yeah, that's right.
So, well, and Jesus Luzardo, all things fair.
Yeah, fair.
If we did a who are we most confident in, only Jesus Luzardo probably be number 1 list right now. He, Kyle Schwarber, and Nick Cassiano.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, so Walker being 9 to me is just simply out of like, I don't know where else to put you.
Yeah.
I love the guy. I think he's a great person, dude, all the above. I just don't completely trust him. So, Romano, look, a week ago, Romano might have been 10.
Yeah. Yes. You're exactly right.
He's had 2 really good outings against 2 hearts of the order. He went through the heart of the Braves order and the heart of the Cardinals order. And he did it throwing 96.
Yeah.
He's averaging 96.5 on his fastball right now. The slider has more tilt on it than it did. It's not horizontal. So maybe that mechanical change did. And look, the more that he does what he did the other night and today, the more confidence he's going to have.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you could tell the body language was so bad.
Yeah. He didn't know what was
It was
like
so
going
bad.
on. Like in that
No.
interview, he's just like, guys, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
he's like, I'm used to just whatever I rear back and that's what comes out.
Yeah. Well, Zalecki said he kind of laughed about it when he talked about his adjustment. So it must have been something so silly.
I mean,
That,
it's
like,
almost like the tin cup thing. Like, put all the change in your pocket, in your left pocket, not your right pocket.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
Yeah.
turn your hat backwards, you know,
Yep.
untie
Yep.
your left shoe. And it's just
Yep.
like, just don't think about it, man. Like, you're,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. The other guy in the bullpen that I've been actually pseudo impressed with, Carlos Hernandez.
Yeah.
The last 2 outings.
Yeah.
There's legit stuff there.
I mean, I don't think anybody's ever doubted that there's stuff. It's, can he throw strikes? And look, if there's
I've watched him enough.
no, I'm with you, but if there's ever a team that can figure out a guy like that, like the Phillies have a track record of this, right? Like, this is what they do.
Yeah, there's a guy throwing the 9th inning every night.
Yeah.
He looks pretty darn good.
Who can vouch for it? Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so let me start with Marsh, and then I'm going to explain why I had Bohmer at. Okay.
All right.
So, Marshy for me, you said this on our video yesterday. You said it perfectly. I just don't know that he's ever going to be it. My response is and was and is that Brandon Marsh is such a likable person. He's so easy to root for.
Yeah.
That watching him struggle is actually hard.
Yeah.
Because you know how much he cares.
Yes.
And he you can tell that he's hard on himself. You can tell he's frustrated. He still cheers for guys in the dugout.
Yeah.
Like, he's still excited. He's still playing his butt off.
Never doubting the effort or the guy.
None of it.
Nope.
None of it. Sometimes guys just aren't it. They're not pros.
They're just not starters. They're not starters.
They're just not.
Yeah.
He's and my argument for Brandon Marsh has always been, this guy works counts. He's so good at getting into deep counts. He does not chase. But man, the other night when he swung through 2 fastballs in full counts right down the middle.
Yeah.
I mean, wasn't even close.
Yeah.
Blew him away.
Yep.
Happened again today.
Yeah.
Got into a 2-2 count. Sinker at the top of the zone. See ya. And if he's not doing that, he's hitting weak ground balls to the right side over and over. Just, it's nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
Look, this might be one of those trades that we just chalk up to being a loss.
Yeah.
And I hate saying that. But Logan O'Hoppe looks like the real deal.
And God, a catcher would be nice right about now, wouldn't it?
We would be sitting here. We would literally be sitting here knowing that the catcher position is taken care of next year. The deal had to be done. They needed a center fielder.
I agree.
Marshy has had great moments for this team.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I think those moments are slowly coming to an end because Justin Crawford is, again, 2 hits tonight. And I said to you before we started recording, he's kind of slump proof because he makes contact and his speed is just accidentally going to get him hits from time to time.
Right.
And defensively, he's so good. I think it's a matter of time. I think we're going to see 2 months of what we see right now. And if Justin's still doing this in Lehigh Valley, he's coming.
And let's be honest, Justin will be a better defender.
Oh yeah, he brings the defense naturally. And on top of that, it's speed on speed on speed.
And yeah.
And hit and good plate discipline, good control of the bat, contact. You know, I think he'll strike out a lot up front until he gets used to the pace of the game.
Yeah.
But he's going to make more contact than he doesn't.
And look, for as good as a left fielder that Marsh is, right? He's an above average left fielder. He's an average at best center fielder.
Yes.
And
yes.
So if that's what you're getting, and this is the hitting you're getting, what's the difference? Like, why not go with the guy who you expect to be there for a long time?
Honestly, Reg, at this point, I would not even be upset if Johan Rojas was just out there
Yeah,
every day.
right. Just for the defense.
Yep.
Just for the ability to run those balls down
And Rojas can, again, accidentally get on base with his speed.
right.
He can bunt like Marsh can.
Yep.
So I'm at a point now where I'm kind of like,
It's unfortunate, but he's just not. It's like I said in our video. It's like there's no value. What's the value that Brandon Marsh is bringing? I mean, yes, in theory, he has more power than those guys we're talking about.
mm-hmm.
But if this is what we're getting, there's nothing. There's no value he's bringing to this team at the moment.
Yeah, it's hard. It's really
tough
hard.
to say that because of all the things you said.
We love the guy. We love the guy. We do. We absolutely love him. Here's my hot take on.
All right.
If he wants to turn it around, he's got to shave the beard and he's got to shave that. He's got to pull Nick Sirianni.
That would be something. That would be something. I'm all for it, by the way.
If you go 0 for April, I don't think you have a choice.
I'm all for it. I think you've tried this caveman bit. It's time to see what juju you can always grow it back, right? It can always come back. Man,
that's my hot take.
I love that. That's
my hot take. Pull the Sirianni. It worked for the Eagles. Shave it all off.
That.
Come on, Brandon.
I want him to do it now.
Me too. All right, let me talk about why I have Bohmer at 5.
All right.
Look, man, I don't know that there is anybody more frustrated with Bohm than me. I am a very patient baseball watcher. But when I text people with like I don't think I did all caps, but very sternly say, I've had enough.
Yeah.
Like, it's time to stop.
Yeah.
That means I'm annoyed. And honestly, Regz, I'm not annoyed with Bohm. I'm not annoyed with Bohm's contact or even. No, it's just simply that. I'm annoyed with the emotional approach. I'm not even going to call it emotional response. It's emotional approach to the game. This game is so much about your mental state. And when you're just going up there hacking at first pitches, your mental state is, I don't want to get to a point where I'm guessing with 2 strikes.
Yeah.
When he has 2 strikes, he is done.
Yeah.
So he is up there right now, just hacking.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't play this game that way. You can't. Because you're going to bury yourself. Now, here's why I have him at 5. He's never in his career hit the ball as hard as he is right now. He's actually, I think I read today, he has 6 or 7 balls that have been put in play over 100 miles an hour. 7 balls over 100 miles an hour that have been outs. That's a expected batting average of over 500. Like, to have that happen 7 times in 12 games, 13 games, that's shitty luck, Regz.
Yeah.
And at some point it's going to flip. Now, here's what I need to remind people of. Because in totality, Bohm's season is going to look really bad. He's not going to be able to fully recover from this. We're not going to see 295.
Yeah.
Just like I said last year with Nick. Nick got off to that putrid start.
Yeah.
Somehow he found his way up to 250.
Yeah.
I think we're going to need to look at Alec's season like 6 seasons.
Hmm.
We're going to have to look at it in month increments. And then look back on the season. I think April's a loss for him.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, if they weren't facing a lefty tomorrow, I think they're facing a lefty. But like, when they get home against righties, I really, first of all, Cody Clemens not having a single.
Yeah, I know. He doesn't have one at bat.
I think they're just hiding him because when Weston Wilson's ready, they're going to bring him up and they're going to try and hide Cody at AAA. They're going to try and sneak him through waivers.
You think so?
I think that's what they're doing.
I don't get it.
I fully believe that. Why else wouldn't he have one at bat this year?
I don't know.
Like, there's no reason for that.
Yeah.
There have been many opportunities where, like, Brandon Marsh pinch hit.
Yeah. Right.
Why are we using Marsh over Cody Clemens?
Right.
Like, why is Cody Clemens not getting one start against left-handed or against right-handed pitching?
I don't know.
That's the only thing I can think of, is that they're trying to hide him so that, like, when teams look, there are no stats to show. Like, I mean, I know teams know what he's capable
Yeah.
of.
Right.
But if there's, if he doesn't have an at bat in 20 games, our team's going to be like, oh, yeah, let's bring him here and give him at bats. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Right.
There's a clear reason why they're doing it's not a clear reason, but there's a reason. I know they're going to keep running him back out there. My reason for putting him at 5 is that I think some of it is just really bad luck.
Yeah.
But I do need him to fix the bullshit kindergarten attitude.
Yeah.
Like, not talking to the media.
Yeah.
Throwing his bat down after being the first out in the inning. Dude, I did that in Little League. It's ridiculous. Pull it together. Like, someone made the argument to me last year that it shows he cares. And I disagree. I think it shows he's selfish. Like, Bryce Harper doesn't react this way. So are we saying Bryce doesn't care? No, Kyle Schwarber doesn't react this way. Are we saying Kyle doesn't care?
Yeah.
Like, Nick struggled immensely last year. Never acted this way.
Yeah.
Like, be a pro, man. You're almost 30 years old.
Yeah.
I still believe in him. And I do think he's going to end up coming out of this. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Some honorable mentions here. JT Realmuto, obviously. Max Kepler.
Yeah.
Aaron Nola. They all kind of fit in here. We could have conversations about them.
Mm-hmm.
Guys who wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole. Jesus Luzardo.
Yeah, not worried. Gotta love that guy.
Kyle Schwarber.
Yep.
Nick Castellanos.
Yeah.
Jose Alvarado.
Yep.
Those are my main 4. That Wheeler, you could say. I really put Wheeler.
What do you think about Strami?
Oh, yeah. Strami's looked really good. The velocity was down a little bit. It's back up now.
Yeah.
His last 2 appearances. He cruised in the Braves game that went extra innings.
Mm-hmm.
His inning was over. I went to the bathroom and came back. It was already.
Yeah, it was gone.
And it was just, I just took a piss. Like, it wasn't even, yeah, Strami could go. Strami can go there. I'm good with that. Outside of that, those are the 5, right? Like, those are the main 5. Wheeler could go on there. I do believe. Like, I really put Wheeler on this list because he had one blow-up game.
Right.
And he just had no control of anything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more recency bias, and I just wanted to have a little fun. And
no, I get you.
When I threw him on there. So, anything else for the good of the cause, bud?
Just I hate you, Braves, and Wheels. Let's have a bounce back. Let's go out and be Zach Wheeler, and let's crush this team.
Yeah, it would be nice to get the series win. Go 3-3 on the road. 500 on the road is okay. It is. We say it every year. You win 50% of your road games, and you're going to be in good shape. A series win would be huge.
Yes.
It would be 4 series wins in the first 5 series of the season.
Yeah.
And they could very well have 6 if they didn't have a blow-up game. My little fixated tonight is actually about the Braves. Couple of things. Why is Marcell Ozuna still allowed to play baseball? That's one. Who is that child they have playing shortstop? That's
Fairchild or somebody?
No, not him. No, Nick Allen.
Oh, that. Yeah, okay.
Kid looks like he's 7.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
It's all right. The other guy that plays shortstop bat flips for walks.
Well, he was next. He was next. Attaboy Arcia. What is he, 2 for 17
Oh
this
my
year?
God. Did you hear what McCarthy said?
Yeah, bat flipped his 2 for 17. No one in this organization likes this
He'll
guy.
take his 2 for 15 down to first base.
No one in this organization likes this guy.
Freaking bat flipped on Zach Wheeler after walking.
He's an absolute joke. So
Yeah.
he was next. Do you know who's coming after him? Take one guess.
I mean, there's a couple options.
I mean, who's my guy?
I mean, your guy is not on the Braves. Who am I on the Braves?
On the Braves. I have a new guy.
I don't know. Why am I blanking on this?
Jared Kelenic.
Oh, yeah. I brain farted. I completely, that's how much he means to me. I didn't even think of him.
All right. Let me just for a moment, give me a moment to pull up his numbers this year. Okay. Because he is the next Babe Ruth against the Phillies. This guy kills us.
It's unreal.
He is hitting an astounding 167. Wait, no, I lied. No, he 171.
It's okay though. We walked him 4 times because he's so scary.
In OPS of 561, and I'm almost certain that most of his OBP came in that series against the.
Oh man.
And lastly, if I may, yes, I don't like Austin Riley, and I don't like Matt Olson.
Yeah.
Sean Murphy's annoying. Ozzy Albies, Matt Olson with a 19 pitch at bat against Leonardo. Albies with his ridiculous at bat against Alvarado the other night. Like, these guys are so annoying, but
they're so annoying.
As an organization, how are you not required to play day games on days where you both travel?
And there's weather coming.
I mean, but even so, when scheduling happens, how are they not required? Like, Major League Baseball needs to step in and say, you're both traveling. That's a 1 o'clock start.
Yeah.
But here's the problem. They won't get any fans.
Oh, yeah.
So they refuse to play day games because no one goes to day games for whatever reason. But, like, not our problem.
Yeah, right. Good work, Atlanta Braves.
The fact that, one, we had to play at 7 on a getaway game, and then we had to sit through a 2-hour rain delay.
But knowing that the rain was coming.
Right. Is an absolute joke.
Yeah.
And it cost us 2 games. It cost us 2 losses. I'm not saying we win both games. What I'm saying is we win one of those games.
Yeah.
If they're played the way they should be played.
Yeah.
So my hatred for the Braves continues to grow. There's only one guy on that team. That's it. One. It's Michael Harris. He's it. I really like that guy. I like the way he plays. Outside of him, you're all jabronis.
Austin Riley is in that Freddie Freeman area where, like, I kind of like the guy, but he just kills us, and so I hate him. Yeah. Everyone else I dislike genuinely.
Yeah.
Like he's in that Freddie Freeman spot for me.
Riley couldn't hit anything.
No.
Until the Phillies came in and they dropped the routine fly ball.
Yeah.
And then he jumped. He's hitting almost 300 now.
Yeah. No one jumpstarts Austin Riley like the Philadelphia Phillies.
Like the Phillies do. It's truly, they're like his AAA.
Yeah. Yeah. They're like, yep, there is warm-up start.
It's unbelievable. It's like, gosh, that dropped double was like, oh, I can hit again.
Yeah, right.
And apparently Jared Kelenic gets in, and Zach Wheeler is now, that's his tonight. Jared Kelenic.
God, he's so bad.
Oh, I was so angry watching that game. I don't typically get mad. My issue will always I will never mind losing baseball games. You lose 50 automatically every year. The games that piss me off are the games where the other team's good players don't beat you.
Yeah. You just beat yourself.
Like Austin Riley got the big hit at the end of that game, but nothing that happened against Wheeler happened with the big guys.
Yeah.
It was all Murphy and Kelnick.
Yeah.
That was it. That was it.
I know. God.
It
And
was so frustrating.
So bad, those two. They're so bad.
It was so frustrating to watch. So that's why I got so angry.
Yeah.
Like my mom actually, and she goes, I don't think, like, I've not seen you get this mad. And I was, because this is an annoying baseball.
Yeah.
It's like, this is not, if they were just losing, I wouldn't care.
Right.
It's that they're losing the way they're losing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what pissed me off. The
Yeah.
drop fly ball, the walks, the letting the bottom of the order beat you.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. No thanks. God, I'm so happy.
Thank you, sir.
I'm so happy we don't have to deal with the Braves for a little bit.
God, I hate them. I hate them.
Yeah, only one more visit there, too.
Mm-hmm.
Bunch of jabrones. All right, man. Well, hey, really glad that we recorded tonight.
Yeah.
Appreciate everybody's patience. Regz and I are gonna talk this week about how we want to handle this. So stick with us. We'll make sure that we update you on that. In the meantime, click subscribe on the YouTube channel. Follow wherever you get your podcasts. Leave a comment. Do the thing. Go to social media at the Phixated Pod, at the Mic Drop 5, at Big Regz Z on Twitter. Head on over to the Phixated fan page on Facebook, at the Phixated Pod on TikTok, and at the Phixated Podcast on Instagram. Almost up to 200 followers.
Get on the TikTok. We're doing some things.
Almost up to 200 followers on there. We're going to have to get live on it. Maybe I'll go live for the...
There you go.
I wonder if we can go double live.
You can.
Absolutely. Or
Absolutely.
if we get together, we can just be live on there.
You can multi-stream from Twitch, YouTube, TikTok all at the same time.
But can you and I be on together is what I'm saying.
I mean, if we're in the same room, obviously.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen streamers do it, but I think you have to have like a certain followers, maybe.
We can figure this out.
All right, well, we'll look, because that might be a way for us to do it.
We'll figure this out.
Yeah, it could be a way for us to do it and have some conversations with people about the draft as we're on there. And when do the Phillies play Thursday? Do you know? My guess is probably a 1:35 game because the Giants will be leaving. I'm pulling up the schedule.
So this would be this coming Thursday?
4:05.
Yep.
That's odd.
Wait, no, I clicked on Tuesday. Never mind. Yeah, 4:05.
That's a weird time. I wonder where the Giants go after they leave.
Let's see. Angels.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, no, because they'll be getting back to the West Coast at like 10 o'clock Pacific time.
Right.
If they leave at like 7:30.
Right. Yeah.
So, they're gaining 3 hours when they get back to. So they're fine. They're not losing anything.
Yeah, right.
A 4 o'clock start is totally fair. Well, all right, folks. We'll let you know what we're gonna do. Well, we'll keep you posted. In the meantime, take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. Make sure you tell someone you love them. We love you. Wheels, get the job done tomorrow. Go Phils.
That's right. In Zach we trust.
Oh my God! Deep to right field, way up there and way out of here.
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.